Well, her son is just maybe one of the most popular stars on the entire planet. And though he's just 18 years old, he has been named by Forbes magazine as the third most powerful celebrity in the world. I'm number one. I'm not sure who number two is, but, you know, someday Justin will be where I am. Of course, that's not true. He is. Quite a remarkable young man. But his mother, when she was 18, was a far cry from the life she lives now. Her story is told in her new book called Nowhere But Up, the story of Justin Bieber's mom. Please welcome Pattie Mallette to the show. Pattie, so nice to have you here today. When I read your book, one of the things that really spoke to me was that when you were a teenager, you went through so many incredible struggles. As a person younger than your son is now, there was a time when you attempted to take your own life. Why?
I think it was a combination of, you know, the broken home, my biological father leaving, and, you know, years of ongoing sexual abuse. Just sort of all that unhealthy relationships on top of drugs and alcohol sort of spiraled me out of control to the point of this so much pain and desperation that I tried to take my life.
You survived the suicide attempt. You were spared from that. And then less than a year later, you found yourself pregnant. Was that a shock to you and to your mom?
Absolutely. I was Justin's age, and so being 18 and pregnant, I was such a child myself. I wasn't ready, especially with my upbringing. I was so broken. I hadn't matured in many, many ways, and so for me to be just pregnant as an unwed mom, you know, full of shame, it was hard. I was, you know, advised to abort, and I couldn't terminate my pregnancy.
What made you decide not to go through the abortion? Because that was the advice that your family had given you. A lot of your friends were saying, look, you're just too young, you're too immature, you can't handle this financially. It's okay, go ahead. But you made a choice not to abort your baby. Why not?
It was just a personal choice for me. You know, I say in there that I used to debate pro-choice in high school and fight for a woman's right to choose. But when I became pregnant, I knew that it was just not an option.
Did you continue to use drugs and alcohol during the pregnancy, or did that kind of wake you up and say, I can't keep doing that?
No, at this point, once I became pregnant, I was, you know, it was a wake-up call for me to have to grow up pretty quickly. And so I did my best to get my act together and surrounded myself with really great people. I had an experience actually in the hospital when I tried to commit suicide, and I came to know, like, for me, God was real. And so I did my own thing for a while, and when I got pregnant, I went back and asked the church for help.
And one of the things that I found interesting, you went to a Christian ministry, Bethesda, there in Canada, that helped you through that time of pregnancy where you were with other young unwed mothers. And that was a real time of kind of development and growth for you to discover who you are and how things were going to go from there.
I lived in a pregnancy home my whole entire pregnancy. And you know, it was a Christian pregnancy home, so I was filled with, you know, education on how to, you know, raise him, and prayer, and just a lot of support.
Well, when we come back, I want to talk about your faith journey, because I found it extraordinarily candid, very helpful and instructive, and I think our audience will as well. By the way, I got some good news. All the members of our studio audience will be getting a copy of Pattie's book, Nowhere But Up. So this rowdy group from Massachusetts here is going to have a great ride on the way home to Boston. When we come back, I'll ask Pattie when she realized that her son Justin could just maybe be a big star. We'll be right back. We're back with Pattie Mallette, who just happens to be Justin Bieber's mom, which is not a bad thing to be, I guess, right?
Not at all.
When did you think Justin was somebody just a little bit different than the rest of the kids and might have something going here?
You know, as moms, I think we're all biased with our kids, and we all think our kids are the greatest. So, I've always known he was talented, but I just, we all think our kids are super talented. I just never imagined anything on, this level.
Did you ever stop, and think about, now that he's become the international superstar, of all those moments in your life when, had you made different decisions, there would not be a Justin Bieber, and he would not be a part of your life and a part of the lives of so many people. The suicide attempt, the contemplation of abortion, the drugs that could have made it impossible for you to have a child. All those, does that ever just make you stop and go, wow?
Absolutely. For me, with my past and everything, I just didn't think that I even deserved to have this beautiful baby, and it's just, for me, it's just been incredible mercy, grace. I don't know.
And you talk about mercy and grace, and a lot of that comes through in your book. That for you, when you became a Christian that really said, Lord, look, I can't handle all this stuff, things started changing for you. But it wasn't like it was the road to Damascus and everything just one day was terrible and the next day it was great. And I think that's one of the things that impressed me. Yours was a journey, a pilgrimage. It was a process. It was not just one moment where everything got great.
It was messy. Yeah. I don't have a story that's all tied in a neat little bow. And it was a journey. I had a lot of struggles through my faith and a lot of doubts and questions. And I just it's raw and it's real. And, I made a lot of mistakes, and I just had to keep going back and saying, okay, God, help me.
What is your biggest worry for Justin? He's on such a spotlight. People chase him with cameras all the time. I can't imagine how that must make you as a mom feel.
It's scary. I worry about him a lot, but that's what moms do. I think we worry about our kids. But he's got great people around him. He's got great security, and he makes great decisions, a lot better than I did when I was his age and younger. So I have confidence in him. Do
you look out there sometimes and just say, gosh, how could that be the same little boy that ran around in my house when I was trying to raise him in those early years?
The movie Nowhere But Up is like a big home movie for me. And I get to see him, with all his... He just was so cute, and I look back and I miss him. I think parents, when our kids grow up, we'd always look back at old pictures and old videos and miss that. But we're still close today, so I miss that little boy. But he's making me proud, growing into a good young man.
He called you the strongest woman he knows. Obviously, he adores you and loves you, and I can understand why from having met you and read your book. And by the way, I want to say that proceeds from the book, Nowhere But Up, also go to benefit single moms and people who are struggling with the very things that you did. Mm-hmm. And again, all of our studio audience. Thank you so much, Pattie. Delight to have you here. And I want to say thanks to you for being with us this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Now, from New York, till next week, this is Mike Huckabee. Good night. And God bless.